Krissi Hannes coming to you live for the first of 10 YouTube lives for our annual catalog launch party. The catalog has officially gone live, so yay for that. I am just like a minute early, but I wanted to make sure that this was going to work. And I'm going to try to find myself so I can see comments.
Mama, I gotta open it.
So just so you know, I do have my daughter in the background. She's supposed to be being quiet, but you all know how that goes, okay? As it stands right now, she's saying she needs my help. I can't find myself live. I can't find myself live, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to see comments. But anyway, Krissi Hannes coming to you live with our first live. So I wanted to show you in the catalog, because I can open the cover now, I'm going to feature the Seaside Wishes hybrid embossing set. So it comes with, as a bundle for $47.50, you get the stamp set, the hybrid embossing folder, and the dies, okay? So my live from yesterday is showing up, but not my one from today. Weird. I can't find myself. I'll try again in a minute, but this is the set I'm going to be using. So how fun does that seem? And I still can't find myself. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to chat with you guys or not, because I can't find my live. So I don't know if I'll get to chat with you guys or not. And I'm on my computer, so that's what's really weird. So I'm also pairing this with the Country Woods 12 by 12 paper. So this goes with the Country Flowers and the Country Birdhouse sets, but I thought there was some very beachy looking washed out boardwalk in there, so that's the paper I'm going to be using. And I have made up a sampler sheet for all the DSPs in this catalog. And I can show you which ones. Oh, there, I found myself. Hey, I found myself. Let's mute me. I don't need to hear myself twice. There we go. Hi, Kim. Hi, Jane. So I found myself. Yay. So I've made up sampler sheets for all the DSPs. Obviously, I do not have them all yet, but this is the Country Woods. So this is like the A side, the B side, however, which way you want to put it. I also have on hand the Thoughtful Journey DSP. This is a 6 by 6 DSP, so my squares are smaller. Hi, Larry. Thanks for joining. And that's each side of those papers. I also have on hand the Unbounded Beauty. This is 12 by 12 paper. So it's both sides of each side there. This will be showcased by, I know, Ingrid. And then I ordered this morning bright and early because I could not sleep, the Full of Life suite. And I had the paper because Lisa Marie was so kind to give me hers that she won it backstage. So I am actually getting this set. I splurged and did overnight shipping. I used my last paycheck from the church for the year to pay for my shipping. So I will be using this set of paper and suite for my second live next week. Hi, Ingrid. Thanks for joining. So I will get more of these filled out as I buy more DSP, obviously. But all right. So as I said, I'm going to feature the Seaside Wishes. It comes as a bundle with the stamp set, the embossing folder, and the dies. And I think I am very organized tonight, so we'll see how well this goes. You always think you're organized until you go live, right? So we're gonna start with a pretty simple card. And I'll show you what this looks like. It's just very simple. It's just featuring the embossing folder. So I didn't pair it with the dies. I just used the embossing folder, and I'm using that brand new basic beige paper. So we'll set that there. I know I need some blending brushes, don't I? Okay. So I'm not going to give you measurements for my projects because our ordering special is if you place at least a $35 order with the demo that you normally shop with, you will get this PDF for free. And if your order is over $50, you will get the PDF plus 3 card kits of the demo's choice. Okay. So I'm not going to be giving measurements, but I'm using Summer Splash as my card base. And then I'm using just a pop of black. And then this is our basic beige that I've already put through the embossing folder. So I'm just gonna bring out some Summer Splash ink, some Pretty in Pink ink, and some Petunia Pop ink, if I can find it. There it is. So normally I'm out in my she shed, and that's normally where I craft, but Mike is out of town this week. So I have brought the majority of everything I need inside the house and taken over the dining room. All right, so these brand new ink pads, when they come to you, are extremely, extremely juicy. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Brenda Lee. So I'm gonna take some onto my brush, and I'm gonna get some off so that it's not overly dark. And I just wanna highlight some color on our sand dollars. When I saw this set living in Florida, I was like, that's a must-have set for me. Be good to scrapbook some boat day adventures. And this one's Petunia Pop. Again, I'm gonna get a little on. See how dark that is? That's how juicy that pad is. And just lightly rub some ink like that. And then we're gonna close each ink pad as we go so we don't make a mess. And last but not least, the Pretty in Pink. And grab some ink. This is a mini brush, I don't know why. It's just what was pink. And just give that one some color. So very, very basic card, but it's a good way to highlight to beginning stampers. Put that aside. And then I've got a scrap here. Let's see, did I put anything on? Oh, yep, my thank you so much is from the layering leaves that carried over. So we'll get out our stamps and we'll ink those up. Where'd my thank you so much go? Oh, told you I thought I was prepared. And I'm just gonna stamp both of these in basic black, the memento. So we'll do our inside one, like that. And then we'll do our You Absolutely Made My Day on this strip of basic beige left over from cutting layers. And this is like a 3/4 inch strip. Make sure I got that inked up nice. And try to get it as even as possible without getting my head in the camera, because that's always difficult. Hi, Rebecca. Thank you. All right, and then also for this inside one, I wanted to take the smaller sand dollar, and I'm gonna make sure that I have my Stampin' scrub to clean my stamps as we go, because I'm using a lot of them on each card and I don't want to contaminate my ink. That's a no-go. Ask me how I know. I've done it before. All right, so I know I'm using that set one again. So I'm going to bring back in the Summer Splash, and the sand dollars are pretty detailed. And again, this ink pad is extremely juicy. So I'm gonna bring that with my foam mat. I'm gonna ink it up over here, and I'm gonna stamp off because I do not want it that dark. And then I'm just gonna put that right over the top of my sentiment to decorate the inside just a little bit. Okay. And then we just need to assemble this one. Again, close up our ink pads. We don't want no messes. If you hear Barbie talk in the background, that's Kennedy Marie talking to herself back there playing with Barbies. And I have been on a Stampin' Seal kick lately. I don't know why. Maybe because it's been working good for me, so I've been on a roll. So, Larry, don't laugh at me, but I went to get my nails done yesterday, and I may or may not have taken my Petunia Pop and Summer Splash ink pads with me to see how close they could match them. And well, I don't know, you guys, but I think they did a pretty darn good job. So, if you ever want Stampin' Up! Colored nails, take your ink pads with you, and they'll see how close they can match them up for you. I think my nail girl did pretty darn good yesterday, if you ask my opinion. It's not every day I carry Stampin' Up! Ink pads around with me, but yesterday was one of those days. So what can I say? Not something I would normally do, but I just thought it'd be fun. And her daughter was actually in the salon because it was after school. And her daughter said, "Oh, look, you got cotton candy nails done." So I call them my cotton candy nails. Her little girl named them cotton candy nails. So I thought it was fun. Just layer. And I'm doing the basic black pop on the inside as well. When I have a small border on the front, I like to also carry over the small border to the inside of my card. I don't know why. It's just, I'm picky about that. And that's what we do. You obviously do not have to add that layer if you don't want to. But I like how the black kind of makes the Summer Splash and the beige pop. And then my sentiment, I am just going to trim off the excess. I really, really miss the banner punch. I'm so sad it retired. I used it all the time. So instead, you cut up the middle and then cut from each side, and we can still make a banner. Not quite as precise all the time as our Pick a Banner punch was, but it does the job. So then I just added this with dimensionals kind of across so that you're not covering up too much of any of those sand dollars because they're just so pretty. Hey, Teresa. Oh, thank you. Oh, hi, Susan. So there we've got. And then to finish this one up, I did a bow with linen thread. Linen thread or baker's twine, I don't know. I always get them mixed up and can't tell them apart. And we're gonna do this live on camera together. Y'all wish me luck. I always cut way more than I need to try to make it easy on myself. Because I normally don't even like, I have a bow maker, but it's out in the shed. I didn't bring it in here. So we're just gonna wing it. If it doesn't turn out, it'll be on the sample photo. But I have faith in myself. I bet I can do this if I try really hard. I lost my bows though. Oh boy. Can I tie bows on live camera? I think I did it, you guys. Give me a second here. I almost lost my... This is not something I would normally do on a live. I would normally have pre-tied my bow and had it done. Just saying. But we're gonna go with that. That's not bad for a first attempt, so we're going with it. Okay? So there's that. It's not exactly even, but again, nothing is perfect in this world. Susan, I couldn't even find myself live. Did you click the link that I provided in the group? Because it should have brought you right to it if you clicked that link. Kennedy, can you play a little quieter, please? Thank you. All right, not the perfect bow, but again, this is a handmade card. And we're going with it. Looks pretty good to me. I just used a glue dot, rolled it up. We're gonna snip these ends a little tiny bit, throw those off to the side. Lucas, why are you standing behind me making me nervous? Do you need something?
No.
Okay. And then I did have all my gems out here. And for this one, we're gonna add just a few of these brand new shimmer gems. And I think we'll just add one of each of the colors that is in our card. Yeah. Oh, because you weren't signed into your YouTube. Jane Bickle, I usually do use a bow jig, but my bow jig is out in the shed. So I didn't have one on hand. All right, so we're just gonna use, I think, 3 small ones and put them next to the colors that we colored our sand dollars. And there we have our first card with the Seaside Wishes bundle. All right. Where did I just put them? Okay. I love these shimmer gems, and they're flat, so it's not gonna make a card bulky to mail them. I'm trying to get them back in there. Little packages that I use to store everything in. Okay. I think we're gonna need those again, so let's not lose them. All right, so there is our first card. Very simple. This will be easy to do with your beginners. Thank you, Brenda. So we'll set that one aside. And then our second card. Kennedy, I need you to please play quieter, or you need to go to your room. Thank you. All right, our second card is a little bit of a fun fold, okay? But it's very, very easy to do. Can you get a closer look? Closer look of the card, Susan? Now I gotta get a delay, hold on. Oh, and I brought you up the one without samples on it. Without gems. So that's just using the embossing folder and then using blending brushes to put ink on the sand dollars. That's all I did there. Very easy. There you go. Okay. So our second one, it is a little bit of a fun fold, but it's very easy to do. So I'm gonna actually do the fun fold part with you guys. This is basic beige, and it's got a little bit of a different measurement to make this fun fold work. Okay, so you notice there's a little bit cut off on the bottom here. Okay, so we're gonna take this shorter flap with some basic beige. It would be the one clear on the bottom of the pile. And we're gonna take this little sand looking stamp that looks like sand pebbles, and we're just gonna ink it up all over. There's no rhyme, no reason, no pattern. You can turn it, you can flip it. It does not matter. Okay, you just want a little bit of added color to this background, just a tiny little, I mean, you can go overboard, you can just go a couple. Some like this, these middles are gonna be covered a little bit. Completely up to you how you wanna do it. I'm gonna clean this because I got ink all over it. Thank you, Ingrid. Okay, and now I will bring in the paper trimmer to show you this next step. Again, this is not a hard card at all. So with the short side that you just put your sand image pebbles on, you are going to put it in your trimmer. There is no measurement, nothing. You just put it at an angle where you want to cut it, and you cut. That's it. So you end up with pieces, one piece attached to the card and an empty piece right here. That's it. Okay. So then we'll bring in our extra pieces. We're using the Summer Splash yet again. I don't know if you can tell what my favorite new in color is. Excuse me. This is actually Pool Party in the paper, but I liked how the darker Summer Splash made it stand out. Okay. So we are going to simply adhere this DSP to the layer of Summer Splash. Like so. Just a nice even border, or as close as possible. If you use Tombow, you have wiggle room, but I didn't. I used glue. This is for the inside. And then to save time, I know that all of you know how to stamp. So I went ahead and stamped our starfish using Misty Moonlight and Pretty in Pink. But I am gonna grab a scrap and show you, because again, these brand new ink pads, the new in colors, come very, very juicy. So, and these starfish, again, where is this DSP from? It's from Country Woods. Susan Country Woods. It is from the Country Woods DSP. Country Woods. So you can see how juicy this ink pad is. And if I was to, again, this is just a scrap. If I was to bring in this big starfish, these are meant to have distinction in them. And you just lose it. You lose some of that distinction because these new ink pads are so juicy. So look, I keep a spoon. I just keep a teaspoon in my shed or on my dining room table as I am now, and I simply move the ink around. Am I wasting a little bit on the spoon? Absolutely. But is all I'm really doing is pushing that ink down into the ink pad. Susan, you ordered at 4 a.m. Yeah, I don't blame you. And then you take where you put some of that ink out and you ink it again, and you get more of the detail. So I'll bring this up a little closer. So see how you're losing the detail down here, but down here when you move some of that ink around, you're getting your detail back. It's just the ink pads are too juicy. So keep a teaspoon in your craft space, and when you're done, you just wipe it off. I literally just wiped it on my pants to clean the spoon. So there's a little tip for you. But I went ahead to save time and stamped and die cut our starfish ahead of time. But we do need to stamp our sentiment. This die is from the Unbounded Love. Did I get the name right? I think the Unbounded Love dies, and it's part of the Unbounded Love suite. You're welcome, Kim. You're welcome, Susan. So I need to do a little bit of stamping on this. So I need my pecan pie, however you say it, pie. We now have 3 ink pads with the word pie, and they all start with P. Pecan pie, peach pie, and pumpkin pie. All right, so your friendship is the best gift. I'm just gonna center that on my die cut and stamp, and hope we did it right because I don't have a spare. Looks pretty good. All right, set that over there, set that over there. We'll clean those when we're done. Okay. Yes, I love that sweet too. I love a lot of sweets in this catalog. I'm gonna go broke. Okay, so now we are ready to assemble our card. So, I'll show you my tip for getting the slit. See how the slit? I'm gonna give you the tip for that. For this, I do use my liquid glue, okay? I line it up where it's centered. I have this bottom piece not attached to the card in any sort or form. This is where I want this layer to go. So I'm gonna grab my Tombow and I'm gonna see, I don't wanna go very far down that side. So I'm gonna play it safe and only take it a little bit down there and come across, okay? And then I'll show you why I do it that way. Because you would rather have too little of glue than too much because you'll glue your card shut. Okay, so there is that glued down. Now I can flip this up and I can see that I didn't come down far enough. So I can just sneak a little bit of Tombow in there and press it back down. That way I'm not gluing my card shut and it's adhered. Now, to do this piece, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put this perfectly lined up on the bottom, across the bottom. And you're going to hold it in place. And now I may be out of camera just a bit to do this part, but I'm basically going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down here and go at an angle, and I can always fill it back in. Now, when you go to make this card, if you make multiples of this card, no two cards are going to be the same because it does not matter where you cut your slit, okay? It does not matter where you cut. And you just want to make sure that before you press down, that this bottom piece is perfectly lined up. Hold it in place, stick that glue, and then you have the option to come back in, and very little. I mean, I could get away with not adding any in there just because I was pretty spot on, okay? But that way you don't end up with too much glue and you get a cute little fun fold that is absolutely easy to make. So on my inside of this one, I put the white and I put "You absolutely made my day." Thank you, Susan. It's very easy. It is not a hard fold at all, but it looks cool when you're done. And people will think it was hard, and it's really not that hard. And I put "You absolutely made my day" at the top. My sentiment, I need to clean that again because I'm sure I'm using it again. And then I brought in the Misty Moonlight, and I have recently just re-inked this too. So like I said, I just cleaned my spoon off on my pants. I'm gonna rub a little ink here so you can see how juicy that one is. I just re-inked it, I don't know, a week and a half ago. I should have probably left it dry for this and then re-inked it. That would have made more sense. But it was really dry. And I just stamped 2 little starfish down here in the corner, like that. All right, so now we can adhere this to the inside. And you have to be very careful when you're using these brand new ink pads that are extra juicy. They can smear if you try to adhere stuff down like right after you ink. They can smear and smudge your project. So if you move the ink around and put some of it down, that'll solve that problem too. Okay, there's our inside. And now to decorate the outside, again, your sentiment could end up in different spots every time you do this card based on where you put where you make your slit. But I think this one will fit nicely down here in the corner. So we'll dimensional that. And then the starfish, I just used glue. I did not place those very well, so we're having to use a lot. My bad. Good thing we get lots of them in a package, huh? I don't know about you guys, if you're fellow demos, but every time I earn rewards when I place an order, I add dimensionals using my reward money. So I probably have, I don't know, 9 or 10 on-open packs of dimensionals out in the shed. Okay. Your friendship is wonderful. And then I just kind of placed my starfish how I would want them, and they can hang off the edge. It's absolutely fine. You're gonna have to add this to your bundle. Oh, to your wish list. Ingrid's wish list is already growing. I know, this was a must for me living down here. I just thought, oh, I just love it. We see sand dollars and starfish sometimes when we're out on the boat, and I don't know, sea creatures are just, I love them. So now I'm just gonna use Tombow. Susan, your little girl's being so well behaved. She's supposed to be being back there quiet. We had a fun day. Kennedy got up at 6:15 this morning, which I guess worked out as a bonus because her brother's bus was late, so we had to drive him to school so he wasn't late. Their bell rings at, I don't know, like 7 or 7:05, and his bus didn't come through this cul-de-sac till 7:08, so he would have missed over half of his first period of school. So this one, I don't want to put glue all the way down because I'm going to hang him off, so I barely want any glue right there. So, she's trying real hard to be quiet back there. She's usually pretty good. We went to lunch with friends today. Her little best friend Abby and her mom Irene. We all went and had barbecue, and they had chicken strips together. And then tomorrow, the 4 of us are gonna go out and pick strawberries in the morning. Oh, Susan, it's on your wish list too, huh? Yes. I'm sure once I see some of the projects done, if I don't own the bundles, like I'm really looking forward to Rebecca and the airplanes. I'm sure that'll end up on my wish list by the time she's done with it. She's usually an enabler like that. I guess I didn't glue that one down yet. Got sidetracked talking about mine and Kennedy's day. I'm trying to keep her occupied with Daddy being gone. And she's out of school now, so gotta do fun stuff with her to keep. Ingrid, they wouldn't have marked him late, but he takes math in the first period, and to me, if you miss half a class of math, sometimes you can miss the whole lesson and not know what you're doing. So she was already up, so I drove her. That way he wasn't late. Shoal River starts at 8:15. Yeah, Larry, here the high school and the middle school start over here extremely early. I think their first bell is either at 7:05 or 7, and then their final bell, they get released at 1:45. Lucas is home every day by like 2:15. 2:15, 2:20. Or a day like today, he was home by 1:50 because I went and picked him up because I got notice his bus was 45 minutes late again this afternoon. So then I'm just gonna add some Wink of Stella to our starfish because why not make them sparkle. And then again, I think on my original sample, my original sample I did, I want to say I used the Blooming Pearls. And I only say that because I had to remake this sample. Oh, Teresa's putting it on hers too. I loved this sample so much that I gave it away. So I had to remake it, and I made these cards like 3 weeks ago. So I can't remember if I used these pearls or not, but these are the pearls we're using tonight. So there we go. So we're just gonna put them on the tag. Put a big one and a small one and a small one. And there is our second card. So these are all pretty easy cards because I did do a lot of the prep ahead of time. So there's that one. Oh, thank you, Larry. The Starfish Sparkle. You get a little bit of fun fold going on, and you don't have a naked inside either. So there we go. There's our second card. And now we'll bring in our third one is a fun fold too. And I do not have a sample of this one, but I remembered how I made it, so I didn't have to make another sample of it. But it's a gatefold card, and it's again using, and I'm going to show you guys, I don't want to have to die cut with you guys on camera because the machine is so big. You have to use the big one. But I'm going to show you a tip. I'll stamp one of these sand dollars and show you a tip of how I'm doing it. So this is just a standard gatefold card. This is pecan pie. And then again, I'm using that Country Woods DSP. This paper just reminds me of like seaside buildings you would see, like the paint, where the paint's scraping off. And that's why I thought that this Country Woods paper went so good with this Seaside Wishes stamp set. So I'm just going to, I am going to use the liquid glue to adhere this DSP because it's got such a small border. Kennedy, quiet please. Sometimes I can get her to sit here at the table. If I do a live during the day, she'll usually sit here at the table and draw or trace her name. So maybe I can get her to do that next week when I go live so that she doesn't make as much noise. And then we can show her artwork at the end. We've done that before. Or show how well she writes her name. So she graduated preschool last Thursday night, you guys. It was the cutest program. They all had little caps and gowns on. They sang songs. And then as each kid walked across the stage, they told us what they wanted to be when they grow up. And my daughter, Kennedy, would like to be a mermaid when she grows up. So there you have it. Okay, so let's set this aside. I'll stamp one of these sand dollars for you just to show you how I make it work in using the folder. It's adorable that she wants to be a mermaid. It was a really cute program. They did really good. The church did really good putting it together. Now, when you stamp in basic beige, it looks dark, okay? But as it dries, it gets lighter. All right, so you can see how dark that one looks versus how light it is afterwards. Like there's a big difference. So it dries quite a bit lighter. Jane, you think your granddaughter wanted to be a mermaid too? I'm thinking it must be something with my family and loving nature, because my cousin's little girl, when she grew up, she wanted to be a tree. So, you know, that works too. All right, so I'm just gonna trim. Get rid of your ribbon scissors, Chrissy. You almost cut paper with them. I'm just gonna trim this off. I'm only gonna show you one. I wanna show you how I cut these out using the hybrid folder and the dies at the same time. It does somewhat have a green undertone to it. I think that lessens as it dries though. To me that looks green, but to me when it's dry it doesn't look green. And it could be the lighting in here. It's getting dark and I have as many lights on as I possibly can. Except I don't have the living room one on behind me. There we go. Okay, so this is the hybrid folder. The Stampin' upside, sorry I just shook the table sitting back down, is where you want to line these up. And you're gonna hear it. It doesn't like, you just, it click. It doesn't click, but you can just, it fits, okay? So then I pull this forward so that I can see the sand dollar. And I look at the edges of the sand dollar and I see that this big one is clear over here. So then I come in with my paper and look, I line it up. Hold on, Kennedy. And then I would close this down. Whoop, it slid, hold on. And here's the thing. If it does not perfectly line up, but that's how I do it. I look at the edges I line them up, and Kim, it is basic beige. It's a brand new neutral color they came out with. And I run this through the die cut, okay? That's how I do it, because it only cuts out 2 of this. There is not a stamp for this middle-sized dollar, okay? So that's how I do it. Yes, baby?
I found Kiara's piece of hook. Wow.
Okay, here, I'll keep it. Thank you. All right, so that's how I make these work. You guys can figure out, it does have a bit of a green undertone to it, but I like it. I don't know. I like it. Okay, so now to assemble this card, I have a strip of basic white for the inside, and I'm just gonna carry this DSP over to the inside. And I do believe, where'd my seal go? Oh, there it is. This is a bit longer than I need it to be. It does have a little bit of a green undertone to it, but I don't know, I like it. To me, it's a good neutral color to replace Sahara sand that we lost.
Mommy?
Susan, you could. I've never tried a brayer on my folder. I just don't think you would get a clear enough image. What, Kennedy?
I don't have any toilet paper.
Oh my goodness, she doesn't have toilet paper. Hold on, everybody. Okay, crisis averted, everybody. She got toilet paper. So I just do it that way and line them up. That's what works for me. I mean, you could try the brayer. I've never brayered my embossing folders, and I think mainly it's because I'm normally out in the shed and I don't have access to water out there. So, could be why. I just ink them on the paper and line them up and cut them. So, this one just goes, I think this is supposed to say the thank you so much. And, oh, I didn't clean that one. Good thing I stamped it like that, because I was about to put it in, and that was black. Oh, I think we're gonna stamp it in, yeah. We're gonna stamp it in Pool Party. Like the paper. Because why not? Because remember, I don't have a sample of this one. If the sample in the template, because I've already done it, is different, then, well, you're getting 2 variations. Because I seriously cannot remember what color I used. That's okay. All right. So there, we can adhere our inside. And then we'll put our sand dollars on to make our gatefold. Oh, I just got tape. Okay. So to do this, I take where my top is and I see where I want to put them. I want the big one in the middle, and I want this one here, and I want this one here. So I'm kind of tucking the smaller ones, and then the big one's going to go on top. So for these, I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right at the top, because again, you don't want too much adhesive or you're going to glue your card shut. Okay? So I want one right there. And I want one right here. And then this one, I'm gonna pop up using dimensionals. So I can do dimensionals just across the top again, so that I don't. This paper is pretty. I loved this paper when I saw it come out. And then as I went through the catalog and I saw this set, it purely just reminds me of walking through a beach town. So I do have the set that this paper goes with. I don't have the birdhouses, but I have the country flowers, and I have used it with that. But so there's our gatefold card. And then I've got a sentiment strip here again. And I have a spare in case I mess it up. And I'm using the You Absolutely Made My Day. And I think we'll do this one in Pool Party too. Ink that up. Stamp it down. And there you have it. Okay? And then the last card should go together pretty quickly because, again, I've done all the die cutting for you. So just trim off the excess, come in up the middle, cut from the ends, and we get our little flag. Now, be careful when you're doing this because I have cut my fingers doing that before. Just saying.
Mom.
I've done it. Kennedy, can you please play quietly? And yes, now she's given commentary because she heard me say I cut my finger. You never know what you guys are going to get with that one. Sorry. And I don't know what night I go live next week, but hopefully it's when Mike's home and I can be out in the shed where it's peaceful and quiet. But if not, you guys will get more commentary next week from Kennedy too. All right, I'm gonna put my sand dollars are a little low, so I'm gonna put this one at the top. I think my original sample, I think they're at the bottom. So, you love this. You've always seen the gatefold vertical, but never horizontal. Oh, really? Oh, so you've seen it like this. Oh. Yeah, it can go both ways. All right, and I'm gonna wink a Stella these two because, again, why not? Wink makes everything better. However, this wink might be... So I have obviously more than one wink of Stella in my shed. And I got so tired. Why I don't throw them away when they quit working, I don't know. That would make sense, right? So I got smart. I got smart and I started writing the date of when I opened these so that I make sure I grab one that has Wink of Stella in it. Okay. And then for gems on this one, I think we're just gonna go with, I think even though this is Pool Party, whoops, everything's falling around me. I think you could get away with the new in colors. I've refilled mine too, Brenda, but I still sometimes can and cannot get Wink out of them after I've refilled them. So by starting to write the date, at least I know I'm grabbing the one that hopefully has stuff in them. You used Stella to watercolor your airplane today. Oh, how pretty. So I think I'm just going to go with some basic rhinestones on this card. And I'll put one there. I'll come down and put one here. I like to go odd numbers, and I like to try to make a triangle pattern if possible, because it draws, that's how the eyes draw. Okay, so there's our third card. And I think we've got time for one more. Are we good on time? Yeah. I think I can make it in about 10 minutes, and then I only keep you guys here for an hour. So there's our third card, simple little gatefold card. There's not refills, Susan, but you can refill them. Message me and I'll tell you how, because I don't know if I quite remember how. I think it's just putting alcohol in it. All right, so there's our third card. So now for our fourth card, again, Seaside Wishes Bundle, Country Lane, DSP, I almost lost a starfish. Got some Calypso Coral starfish, some crumb cake sand dollars this time. I've got 2 labels from the Deckled Rectangles. And then these are extra dies in the stamp set, some seaweed. And it's what I did was I die cut the seaweed and then I put it in the bubble spots inside the folder and ran them through the folder to give them some texture. So I thought that was kind of cute. And then we've got our bits and pieces. So this is what the finished card looks like. Okay, again, using that Country Woods Designer Series paper. I don't know what I had this strip in here for because I don't need it. Okay, so for this one, I went with a Calypso Coral card base. Oh look, I got Wink a Stella on this. It must be on my fingers and now it's on Calypso Coral. But I'm gonna wink this one too, so it doesn't matter. It's all good. And then I used this pattern of DSP from the Country Woods, and I used both sides, okay? To me, this reminds me of coral. It was for the last card. The wink was? Oh, the sentiment, that's right. Thank you, Teresa. I had a spare, didn't I? All right. So we've got Calypso Coral, and I chose that based on the color of that DSP. But then I'm going to flip it and put this piece, and I cut it too long. So my trimmer's right here, so how about we cut it to the right length? It should be at 5 1/4. Oops. Okay. Cut it to the right length because I already glued that one down. That would make sense. And I'm just going to center that as best as I can. Okay. And, oh, be nice now. Okay. And then, oh, I got tape on my fingers. All right. And then put that piece of wood. Just center it. Center it the best you can. If it's not perfectly centered, it doesn't matter. Okay? Like that. And then again, I stamped these in crumb cake this time around. And I'm going to just kind of put them where I want them on the card. We're going to lay this card out. That one's going to pop up with dimensionals. My starfish, my big one, if it'll cooperate, is going to come here. My little one is going to tuck here when that's popped up. And then my seaweed is going to go behind my big one, okay? So I think I kind of know how I want that to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my glue dots and I'm going to adhere my seaweed. I'm guessing. I don't know if it's seaweed. Looks like seaweed. And I'm just going to adhere them. I'm calling it seaweed. You're going to have to get this in June and have a summer class. Have at it, Susan. And feel free to copy my layouts. Case away. Case away. Use the inspiration already given to you. Or change up the papers and colors. Do different, make them your own. I'm going to adhere these with glue dots. Like so. So that we have a little bit of seaweed sticking out. Okay. So then I'm going to glue this one down. But I'm being mindful because I want to tuck that little one there. Don't go over the top of your card or else it won't fit in the envelope. You'll ruin it. And I think I might went a little low, so we might have to move where our sentiment goes on this one. But that's okay. Might have to cover the sand dollar. Again, I'm being mindful where I put my glue because I want to be able to tuck my starfish. And then we'll tuck him like that. Yeah. Tuck him like that. I guess I could use adhesive sheets on these. Might make it a little, these aren't bad to glue though. The little one's a little tiny. Like this. And then this one we're going to pop up and we're going to have to put our sentiment on this side this time. And then this one will tuck after I pop him on dimensionals. Which, where did I put those? All right. I'm gonna get done just in time to go put Kennedy to bed. She'll be so not happy. All right. Tuck that one like that, and then we're gonna tuck in this baby starfish. Just a little bit of glue here. You could use a glue dot on him, really. And put him there. We will stamp our sentiment really, really quick. I think on my, that looks dark. I think on my sample I used early espresso. But I don't have that in here, so we're going with pecan pie. Okay. Your friendship is the best gift. Oh, and look, you guys, I totally forgot to put, I had a pretty pink layer that was supposed to go behind this, and I totally didn't put it. I just skipped right over that part. But oh well, it still works. Your friendship is the best gift. Put that back over there so I can clean it. We're gonna pop this up too, because why not? So it's supposed to have a pretty pink layer back there. Or no, petal pink, a petal pink layer, not a pretty pink. Petal pink layer, but I didn't put it, so the sample card that I post will have that. Sorry. All right. I'm just gonna put this right down here in the corner. Like so. My side, I'm going to leave blank because I don't know if I'm gonna want this to be a thank you card, a birthday card, a thinking of you card. I won't know until I have a recipient that I need to send it to. So I'm just gonna add the strip of DSP and adhere this to the inside. And then when I feel that I have a friend that needs to know that their friendship is the best gift, I'll put the proper sentiment inside and send it out. Snip off that excess. Glue this to the inside. Then we're gonna move everything out of the way. Well, as much as possible. I've seriously overtaken 3/4 of the dining room table. I have enough space for the kids to sit and eat. Life with a crafty mom. It works. I just don't like to be out in the shed and leave them in the house alone when Mike's gone. All right, so there's that. Now we're gonna bring in that wheat Castella again. And we're gonna bring in our bone folder and we're just gonna weep. Just gonna give it some splatter. Because why not?
Who's doing that?
Me.
That's
I just got scolded and told I was being too noisy. Okay, and that finishes that card. Okay, so there's one card we did. There's another card we did. There is another card we did. And where's that? Oh, here it is. And here's the first card we did. And I didn't add my gems on this one, so I need to do that. And for that, I used the adhesive backed pearl trio. And I just thought those look perfect. I don't know if they're Calypso Coral, but tonight they're Calypso Coral. Oh, where'd my take your pick tool go? Oh, right there in front of my face. And I'm just gonna put these around like so. Okay. So I think Brenda Lee is live tomorrow night at 7. I'm pretty sure tomorrow night it's Brenda Lee. And then I believe on Saturday it's Ingrid. Like so. So there is the 4 cards showing you the brand new Seaside Wishes bundle in that Country Woods DSP. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Kim. And Thank you all for joining me. If I missed any questions, oh, you're Friday.
Oh, you too.
So maybe Lisa's tomorrow. Maybe Lisa Marie's tomorrow. Somebody's live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time on their YouTube channel. I think it might be Lisa Marie. So have a good night, everybody. And we'll see you in the group and look forward to seeing your guys' challenges. Make sure you do the sketch challenge, the mystery Stampin', interact with us in our engagement post, and order through the demo that you normally shop with. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.